Good evening, everybody. Uh, Welcome to tonight's session on the Development Finance program hosted by Stellenbosch Business School. My name is Henry Boyson. I'm the client liaison officer um, at Stellenbosch Business School. And so while we just give others a chance to join, I just quickly just want to go through the room. In the meantime, I just ask where you're joining us from. So I'll just go randomly. Luca Miataza, where are you joining us from this evening? Okay.
Hi everyone.
Hi. Hi, Luca.
Apologies for that. I am joining from Cape Town. I'm in Gills River. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, welcome, welcome. Kuils River. That's a stone's throw away from the business school.
Yeah.
Sipiwo. Sipiwo. Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
oh my God, my
That's that's fine if you have some connectivity there.
good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Welcome.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Good evening to everyone. I'm joining from Worcester. I'm joining from Worcester in the Cape Winelands.
Oh, that's nice. Just on
Yeah,
the other side of the tunnel.
correct.
Jay Zuruka Njerakana. How are you today, sir? I think you muted yourself.
Yes, Ruka, kuya kiso microphone, huh?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Jay Zuruka, where are you joining us from? You've got some issues there with your microphone. But nonetheless, if you yeah, you can maybe just put in the chat where you guys are joining us from and so forth. But yeah, just to get the evening started, I'd like to also just tell you once again, thank you very much for coming. And just from the Stellenbosch Business School side, the team that's on call tonight, I'd like to welcome Professor Ashenafi Fanta, who is the head of the MPhil in Development Finance, who will be speaking about the programs for us tonight. I'd like to um, welcome Mrs. Mfundo Ndlangisa, who's the head of Marketing Communications, Edwina Sonnenberg, who's the head of the Student Center for Administration, Cynthia Lachtegan Kriel, who is joining us as a program coordinator, as well as Mandy Samuels, who's also part of the program coordination team, and Marissa Groenewald, who's part of the faculty officers as well. And then Zainab Osman, who's just in the background, just assisting us on the technical side. So welcome to the session. And I hope that at the end of this evening that you'll be able to yeah, tell us a little bit more, and you'll be a little bit more enticed about all about development finance. So before we get started into with everything, just a little bit about the business school. So it's not all about just leaving with a degree. It's about leaving with that transformative experience. And our core values is excellence, because that's what we strive to do. It's all about equity, respect, value creation, taking accountability, and having compassion, um, with one another. And and as part of our mission, it's to develop responsible leaders who can impact society positively, even when it's through knowledge, or even with the transformative learning that you will gain while being a student at Stellenbosch Business School. So this is not all our faculty members, but this is our academic leadership, and they really drive the business school forward in terms of the leadership and knowledge. So as you can see, the business school we've got a senior director, Prof Chris van der Wuffen, and as you can see, we've got our head of MBAs, head of MPhil Development Finance is there on the right hand side. Prof Fanta will be speaking to us later. Prof Nanzidi, as you can see over here in the middle as well, who's the head of the PG Development Finance, who's not joining us tonight. yeah. So just about for those who's joining from the postgraduate development finance side. So the head of the program is Prof Elizabeth Nanzeri. She's a visiting scholar at the World Bank. And yeah, her teaching experience is all about development finance, public policy and governance. Her research focus is also on finance for development, and this includes financial inclusion for households, financial literacy, and household welfare. So you'll be in very good hands with Prof. Nanziri. And tonight, of course, Prof. Fanta, the head for the M4 Development Finance, as it says there, is a self-disciplined professional, committed person, and yeah, enjoys participating in community-oriented activities. His experience is in data analysis and segmentation expert as well, and skilled in starter SPSS, e-views, and so forth. So Prof. Fanta runs the M4 in Development Finance. So going back to the business school, we are the first business school in Africa to hold all three major accreditations, which is the AACSB, EQUIS, and AMBER, established in 1964. So we've come quite a long journey, and we're part of the top research universities in Africa as well. So for those of you not familiar with Cape Town or Stellenbosch, we are not in Stellenbosch. We are in Cape Town, situated, you can say about in the middle, between Cape Town city center, the CBD, and Stellenbosch itself. And yeah, very close to the airport for those that's traveling in. And yeah, so just a little bit more. We've got over 35,000 alumni, with 17 chapters globally, and those chapters keep on growing. We have 15 partner universities. We've got 6 research centers, and 34 core faculty that takes part in the academic side of things when it comes to the business school. So for those of you that have not applied, yeah, we are slowly creeping towards our closing date, and applications opened on the 1st of April. So yeah, and they close on the 31st of October if you are a normal applicant, and so those who's got direct admission, and that's for international applications as well, and for the recognition of prior learning. So yeah, that's a little bit of a longer journey in terms of admission. Those close on the 30th of September, hence that closing date. So on that note, Prof. Fanta, thank you very much once again for your time. You'll be taking us through the program, and over to you.
Thank you, Henry. Good evening, colleagues, and a warm welcome to everyone to our online open day session. It's an absolute pleasure for me to take you through our prestigious development finance program, both MPhil and PhD development finance program. I just want to say that this is the first development finance program introduced in an African soil. We pride ourselves being the first and being on top of, at the top of the ranking in terms of the quality of development finance education we provide on the African continent. So we have 2 programs within in our portfolio that I'd like to take you through in this session. Of course, in total, including the PhD, we have 3 programs on our portfolio, but today's session specifically focuses on the PhD and MPhil. So I'll take you through the 2 programs. Next slide. Yeah, when we ask the question of what exactly is development finance, people might think that development finance is just a variant of a field in finance, or a variant of corporate finance, or the standard finance oriented program. But it's slightly different, because in the traditional finance curriculum, the focus is in building skills that are oriented towards private sector profit maximization goal and stakeholders value maximization. But in development finance, on the other hand, our main focus is in driving economic transformation by introducing innovative financing mechanisms that allows countries to achieve their economic development goals. So at the center of development finance are three critical areas. First, sustainable economic development, where you contribute by designing financing interventions for funding infrastructure development, including roads, energy, dams, schools, hospitals, and telecom infrastructure, and also supporting the growth of small and medium enterprises. There are quite a number of recommendations forward to developing countries as to how they can transform their economies. What is lacking is the financing. So that is where we intervene by assisting, by developing funding interventions so that countries can invest in critical infrastructure and also support the development of small and medium enterprises. And the other level at which development finance intervenes is by the design of policy and programs. In our curriculum, we emphasize on policy and program formulation, and also we spend considerable amount of time evaluating effectiveness of programs in the context of developing countries in Sub-Saharan Africa. And given that we have advancements in technology, particularly financial technology, we also emphasize on financial innovation. As you know, Africa is at the forefront of fintech. We are known for introduction of the first successful mobile money app, M-Pesa, in Kenya. And in terms of number of people that use mobile money apps and mobile money services, Africa is still leading. It has transformed the lives of many in Africa, and it continues to inspire several policymakers across the world. So in our program, we emphasize on financial innovation, which is very important in raising sufficient amount of resources to fund infrastructure, to support small and medium enterprises, and also to provide financial support for critical economic and social activities in a country. Next slide. You may ask why you want to do, a development finance program at our business school should be considered. One, development finance is a critical skill. It's a critical skill across Africa. The skills the program helps students to build is needed by international development finance institutions, governments at a policy level, both local and national governments, and various other institutions. So the fact that the development finance remains a critical skill makes it a very important qualification to have. And the second is there are advisory forums with local and international development finance institutions, which we use to make our curriculum relevant and current. So when you join our program, you will be able to acquire a skill that will be sought after by local and international development finance institutions like DBSCA in South Africa, Land Bank, IDC. and at an international level, World Bank and other continental and international DFIs. So we always make sure that our curriculum remains relevant to international and local development finance sector. The business school is a triple crown accredited institution, which is a stamp to the quality of education it provides. Not all business schools are built the same. We pride ourselves for maintaining high quality, and the quality of education we provide has been confirmed not by just one international accreditation institution, but by 3 of them. And we remain just 1% of business schools holding triple accreditation, from these institutions. The other very important distinction of our curriculum is that in each and everything that we do, Africa is at the center. In our case study, we use African-focused contexts. And in our presentation of contents, and when we introduce various cases for discussion, we focus on Africa, so that by the end of the day, upon completion of the program, our graduates will be able to tackle problems that developing countries in Africa face. Our offerings are in 2 formats. We have a flexible blended format and a modular format, which allows you to choose a format that suits your own context and your own realities. And our MPhil development finance program paves the way for PhD. If you do a PG Deep in development finance program, it paves the way for you to join the MPhil, and MPhil also paves the way for a PhD. So you will progressively build your expertise in development finance all the way from PG Deep to PhD. Next slide. Yeah, the PG Deep in development finance is NQF level 8 to non-South African members of the audience. In South Africa, we have a qualification classification. NQF is 8. It carries 120 credits. The NQF 8 paves the way for a person to access a master's program, which is NQF 9. Then NQF 9 paves the way for accessing the highest qualification academic institutions can offer, which is a PhD. So the PG Deep is a 1-year NQF 8 level program carrying 120 credit hours of coursework. The MPhil, on the other hand, carries 180 credit hours, and it's presented in 2 years, comprising both a coursework and a research project. Then you have the PhD. Next. Yeah, delving deeper into the PG Deep Development Finance Program. Like I said earlier, it's a 1-year program. We have 8 modules presented. And in terms of the format that we use, it's a blended format. What it means is that you attend sessions, live sessions online throughout the duration of the program. You will have interaction with your lecturers and opportunity to access learning materials through systems that we call a learning hub. And in the PG Deep Development Finance Program, we offer foundation phase modules and specialization phase modules. The foundation phase modules allow a student to development finance and to have a broader understanding of how things function in our world, including, for instance, things like understanding the world. How does the national and international political economy function? And critical skills that you need to acquire for you to be a responsible leader. Your ability to manage projects and your ability to identify and measure and manage risk in development finance institutions are presented at the foundation level. Then once you complete the foundation phase modules, you will then join specialization phase modules, which are very specific to the field of development finance. And this includes financing for development, financial analysis and project appraisal, financing public sector projects, monitoring and evaluation of development projects. So these are the two classes of modules that we present at the foundation and specialization phase. Next slide. Yeah, then looking at the MPhil Development Finance Program, like I said earlier, this is our flagship program introduced more than 20 years ago, which remains to be at the top of development finance programs on the continent. You have 9 courses that students are expected to do. We present 6 core modules. These are compulsory modules, which includes economic development perspectives in Africa, issues in banking and finance, taking students through the financing landscape and the change that are happening in the sector, and the regulatory requirement to ensure that the financial sector remains resilient against shocks. Then you have small business finance that covers host of issues that small businesses require to grow and to contribute to society by creating jobs. You will also be introduced to project finance, which is an innovative financing technique which is used to raise funding for financing large ticket asset project or large ticket projects such as, for instance, a highway, railway, or building a dam that requires massive amount of investment. So by structuring transactions in the form of project finance, one can deliver infrastructure and achieve economic goals. You will also be introduced to financial technologies and innovation, where you will be exposed to the emerging fintech and various other innovations in finance. We also have entrepreneurship, exposing our students to critical attributes of an entrepreneur, which is very important in the African context where unemployment is very high. Wherever you go in Africa, you notice particularly youth unemployment growing from time to time. And one way to tackle is obviously by creating jobs. And we expect our graduates to acquire the skills to be able to create jobs. Then we have 3 blocks or 3 groups of elective modules. Very attractive elective modules. In block 1, we have sustainable finance, infrastructure finance, structured finance, trade policy and finance. And in the second block, the modules like agricultural policy and finance, which is very relevant for a continent like Africa that heavily depends on agriculture as an important source of national output. We also have econometrics for development finance and small-scale enterprise development. And in the third block, We have development project management, economic diplomacy, financial sector regulation, and investment promotion. All of them are mouth-watering elective modules, which our students often find it difficult to choose one from the list. Then once you complete the coursework, you will transition into a research assignment, a supervised research assignment. The research project, as you know, is a project where you embark on generating new knowledge. You create new knowledge that will impact policy in the African context. There are various policies that are proven right and relevant in developed economies, in industrialized nations, but those policies may not really work in the African context. So that is why we allow our students to go out into the field, use African data, explore, and come up with new insights so that we'll be able to develop, generate policies that are relevant and that are valuable to the African context. Next slide. Yeah, so when you join the program, you'll be able to shape the development finance policy, where you will be able to formulate, implement, evaluate policies and programs in Africa and in developing countries as a whole. You'll also be able to design African solutions. Like I said earlier, our curriculum is designed with Africa being at the center, at the center of attention. So when you complete the program, it means you'll have expertise to design development finance programs and development finance policies that can work for Africa. You will acquire critical skills. I mentioned this earlier already. Skills such as, for instance, successfully structuring a project finance transaction, which will then fund infrastructure, different types of infrastructure, such as roads, highways, such as schools and hospitals. That is the other critical skill. You'll also make a societal impact by contributing to economic transformation economic transformation in Africa. Through the research assignment, you'll be able to acquire skills in generating new insights. Attending classes and doing courses is one thing. It's a knowledge acquisition. You just absorb, you acquire knowledge that has been created by other scholars. But when you conduct research, you will create your own new knowledge that can contribute to policy making in Africa. So by doing the program, you will be able to embark on research projects that can contribute to policy formulation in Africa. You will also be able to build networks with professionals across many countries in Africa and beyond. Every year we attract several students that work for local and international development finance institutions. We have students from African Development Bank, Afro-Exim Bank. I don't know if you know this bank, which is based in Egypt, funding international trade in Africa. So we have students from Afro-Exim Bank. We have students from DBSA in South Africa, IDC, and various other local development finance institutions. So when you join the program, you'll be able to build a network. That network can then allow you to embark on various types of projects once you complete the program. Next slide. Yeah, looking at the admission requirements for the PGD program, we require mid-level managers in financial services, those who work in public institutions, banks, corporates and development finance institutions. The minimum admission requirement is a bachelor's degree in terms of qualification in economics, in finance, accounting, commerce, or any other related field. Or you can have any 3-year degree, but with a 2-year relevant work experience. Then for the MPhil Development Finance Program, we attract and we provide opportunity for individuals who have experience in the field of development finance and possess honors or 4-year bachelor's degree in business finance, economics, accounting, or commerce, or a 3-year degree plus a PGD qualification. Like I mentioned previously, the MPhil Development Finance is a 2-year program, and it's presented in blended or modular format. Next slide. One unique characteristic of our program is that it's very much aligned with United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. As you know, UN has 17 development-oriented goals, and out of the 17 goals, our program directly affects or addresses 6 goals, namely SDG 1, where the United Nations aims to achieve a world where there is no poverty. And talking about poverty, when you look at poverty head count, significant portion of the poor live in Africa. And that is why our curriculum is designed to address the pertinent economic development challenge our continent faces. And SDG 8 on decent work and economic growth is also covered in our curriculum. Industry, innovation, and infrastructure are also covered. Inequality, we cover this in our small business small business finance rather, apologies. It's also covered through small scale enterprise development and other modules that aim at reducing inequalities and also reducing poverty. Sustainable cities and communities are also the other very important UN Sustainable Development Goal addressed in our program. And the last one is SDG 17, which aims for building networks across various entities. Next slide. So in terms of linkages with SDG, for instance, economic development perspectives in Africa, one of the core modules specifically addresses SDG 1, 8, 9, and 10, covering issues like poverty reduction, decent work, reducing inequality, and achieving inclusive and sustainable development. And in issues in banking and finance, we address SDG 8 and 9, where building stable and inclusive financial system is at the center. And in small business finance, we have SDG 1 and SDG 8 directly addressed, where supporting entrepreneurship and economic empowerment is at the center. We have project finance targeting SDG 9 and 11, fintech 8 and 9, and entrepreneurship targeting goals 8, 9, and 10. Next slide. And when looking at the elective modules, there is also a direct link with the Sustainable Development Goals, sustainable finance, infrastructure finance, structured finance, agricultural policy and finance, econometrics, small-scale enterprise development, and development project management. Each of them can be directly linked with Sustainable Development Goals. Next slide. Yeah, lastly, I'd like to say a few things about the employment opportunities this qualification will open up. Our graduates find opportunities in various international and local development finance institutions. For instance, there are opportunities at the World Bank, African Development Bank, UNICEF, the New Development Bank, and others. The year before last year, I had a student whose master's project I supported. He joined from DBSA, but even before completing the program, he moved on to the African Development Bank. He's currently working for the African Development Bank. And I have still students who are in contact with me who have moved from local development finance institutions to continental ones. One of my students, for instance, who was at DBSA is now working for Afrexim Bank. So the program opens up opportunities for students to join, our graduates to join international organizations and multilateral institutions. It also opens up opportunities to join development finance institutions and regional banks such as IDC, Land Bank, various development financing institutions, including GIZ, KFW, and others. Opportunities are also available at the government and public sector agencies level, Ministry of Finance, central banks, financial regulatory authorities are one of the main places where our students go. Private sector in financial services are also interested in our students. Commercial banks with a development focus, impact investment firms, public equity and venture capital firms, fintech companies are all interested in our development finance graduates. Next slide. All right. So that's it. So to summarize, this is a triple crown accredited institution that you are joining. You'll have a global perspectives with African context at its heart, and you'll be able to join a network of alumni, faculty, and business partners that span industries and geographies, and you will also acquire skills as a responsible leader. Thank you for your attention, and I will be pleased to take your questions.
Yeah, just before we get to that, Prof, just thanks once again for those for that session and just telling the audience about the programs that we offer. And just to wrap it up, I just want to let the audience know that the foundation of everything we do here at Stellenbosch Business School is to develop you through our programs. We'd like to demonstrate that we through our research outputs that there's value in what you're doing as a student. And of course, we'd like to distinguish ourselves, in terms of the quality of the relationships that we build, not only with students, but within ourselves and and with those that we meet in the professional workplace as well. So yeah, for those of you that just need a little bit more information with regards to our programs and just what we do here at Stellenbosch Business School, there's the email address, applications@stellenboschbusiness.ac.za, and yeah, there is our details as well. So just on that, I just quickly want to just introduce Mandy. Mandy is the program coordinator for this program. She just quickly just wants to just give us a couple inputs. Yeah, Mandy, over to you.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry, Henry, I'm just managing the chats quickly before we move on. There are a few that would like you to share the slides, if possible, and the recording of the session. I think they've got connectivity problems. So, Henry, if you can just post in the chat what they can email you, your email address, if you can just post it there so that they can make contact for the link or the recording, please.
Yeah.
And yes, there is some questions for Prof as well. Probably we can just cast an eye over those. I think that there is, I saw one and I said that Prof will have a look at it.
Yeah. So Prof, just a quick one. CPO asks in the chat, how are students assessed for the MPhil in development finance?
All right, that's a very good question. Assessment for the coursework comprises both individual level assessment and team level assessment. You understand why we want you to work in teams, because in development finance or at a postgraduate level, we expect students to work in teams towards achieving a certain goal. So we evaluate them at a team level. We require them to work on a particular project and make a group submission. That is one. At an individual level, we require students to write a test, particularly for the compulsory modules. For the compulsory modules, we have tests that are written after completion of lessons. And for elective modules, we require students to submit term papers. These are mini projects in which students demonstrate acquisition of skills in a particular field. For instance, in infrastructure finance, I require my students to scan infrastructure finance ecosystem in a jurisdiction of their choice and identify problems and suggest solutions, so that a jurisdiction of their choice must be able to fund infrastructure projects without seeking any external funding.
All right, thanks for that, Prof.
Henry, then there was a question for Prof also on if one obtained a PG Dip in financial planning, Prof, will one gain access to the MPhil program, or is there other requirements that they need to do? Do they have to do the PG Dip in development finance, or will they be able to gain access via a PG Dip in financial planning?
Yeah, if you have a PG Dip in financial planning and relevant work experience, you are welcome to apply for our MPhil development finance program. As I have highlighted when presenting the admission requirements, we require a 3-year bachelor's degree program plus PG Dip and relevant work experience. So if you have PG Dip in financial planning, even in accounting or finance, you are welcome to apply.
Okay, thanks for that, Mandy. I will get back to the questions just in a little bit, as well as Prof. So just quickly, I'd just like to introduce our next speaker to the session. He's an alumnus of the MPhil in Development Finance. His name is Sebastian Chitombo, and he joins us from Windhoek, or I'm not sure if you are currently in Windhoek. Sebastian is the Foreign Relations Officer at Namibia's Ministry of International Relations and Trade. Prior to his career in diplomacy, Sebastian spent several years in the financial sector, served as the corporate and commercial manager at Capricorn Bank, as well as the alternative trustee on the group as well. He holds a master's degree in public diplomacy and sustainable development from Louise School of Government, but most importantly, he holds a master's of development finance from the University of Stellenbosch. Sebastian, thank you very much for joining us. Prof was talking about just the program as a whole in terms of, there's a big focus on Africa. And, you are a foreign trade officer, working in that African focus. And I know you do a lot of work in East Africa as well. What was, some of the valuable lessons and skills you gained from this program?
Yes, good evening. Am I audible? Everyone can hear me? Yes. Good evening, everyone. Well, Henry, in my case, having worked in banking and finance and then coming over into diplomacy and international relations, and I remember having shared earlier that I used some of my experience leading the classroom as a class governor with my colleague from Zambia to just sort of create that linkage between faculty and the students. And that leadership early on, I look at it, the skills that I gained is sort of building confidence in my leadership that helped me a great deal. And of course, dealing with the different students from all walks of life, from the different countries, and now coming back into diplomacy, dealing with different countries and different nationalities and different regions. As you rightly mentioned earlier, now I deal with East and Central Africa. And I've had some of my classmates at the time from East and Central Africa as well. So understanding the cultural differences, understanding the mannerisms early on as a student, which now is helping me a great deal in my diplomatic dealings. And I would also like to say some of the experience I used from the classroom for the interviews for the jobs that I currently occupy. So that also helped a great deal in terms of the connecting with an audience. And as well as strategic thinking as well, Henry, because now when we're engaging folks from the African Development Bank, Prof mentioned earlier, the DBSA and so on. So when we engage folks from the AFDB, from SADC, from SACU, from AFCFTA, from COMESA and EAC, one can sort of move past the vague declarations of mutual cooperation when we engage with our bilateral partners as well, and more look at mutual cooperation and sort of move past the solidarity aspect of it rather, and negotiate highly structured investment frameworks with that experience from development finance that one gained, that you can sort of now sort of channel it towards the development of the continent, but of course beginning first with the development of our national priorities, and Namibia that is.
Yeah, that's interesting. And you know what? So just from moving back to development finance once again, how did the program change the way you think about development finance and economic development? I think Sebastian's got some issues there. Okay, so while we wait for him to get back up, let me just, I think there's some questions there that we can maybe just go back to. Does anybody have a question they'd like to answer? You're more than welcome to switch on your camera and and ask us a question.
Good afternoon, good evening. Can you hear me?
Hi, Bilal. How are you?
I'm doing well. I hope you too. Yeah, please. My question is, I don't have a background in finance, accounting, and all that, but I am currently transitioning into finance. My background is statistics and agriculture. So that's what I want. I would like to know if with such a background, it would be possible to apply for the program. Like last week, I was in contact already with the school because I sent several emails regarding the possibility for me to do the program online. And yeah, I even started the applying online, but I was like, when I saw this, I wanted to be sure that I'm doing a good the appropriate step. So yeah, that's why I'm asking to see if it is possible.
Yeah, just a quick one, Bilal. Are you maybe leaning towards the postgraduate diploma or the MPhil in development finance?
Yeah, that's also what I wanted to know because I have a master degree in agricultural statistics and currently doing a master in sustainable development. So I wanted to know, for me to do the transition appropriately, will it be appropriate to start with the postgraduate or directly apply for the MPhil?
Do you know what? I'm going to leave this over to Prof Fanta to ask, but just in what you're saying, yeah, there's a lot of agricultural students in this program. In fact, I actually want to encourage you to do a PhD, but Prof Fanta, yeah, what are your thoughts?
Okay. All right. Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Bilal. I just want to understand a few things. In terms of your professional background, do you have, experience working in the financial sector? That is one. The second question I'd like to ask is, are you planning to join the MPhil program once you complete your master's degree in sustainable development? Or sorry, you said economic development?
Yeah, sustainable development.
Yeah, sustainable development.
Okay. Yeah. In my work, I work with finance institutions because we work on agricultural finance with banks, microfinance, and all that to develop financial products for the agricultural farmers. So me, I have not directly worked with them, but we cooperate with them in developing some of the tools we use because in my first degree it was agribusiness, which incorporates some agricultural economics aspects. So now for the MPhil, I would like to apply now because my sustainable development program ends at the end of this year, 2026. Yeah.
No, you are eligible to apply.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
Bilal,
you.
so I see you did mention that you started your application. Feel free to now just go and complete it, and we look forward to reviewing that application. Any other questions before we let Sebastian just jump on again? Okay. All right. Sebastian, are you good to go?
Connectivity issues.
Okay. Yeah. Sebastian, just a quick
Yes,
one.
I'm good to go. I'm good to go.
Okay. Just a quick one. So
Sorry about that.
For someone considering applying for, whether it's PGDP or the MPhil,
Yes.
what qualities of a mindset do you think students would need to succeed in these programs at Stellenbosch Business School? I don't
All right.
think.
Well, number one, I have to say that you have to be extremely patriotic and Pan-Africanist. So Pan-Africanism will help a great deal, and you have to have the continent at heart before we look at other things. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Henry?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I think we should give Sebastian's connectivity a break. Okay. Yeah. On that note, any other questions rather? So Superior asked, do you consider RPL for MPhil? And what is the qualifying criteria? Marissa, can you perhaps just join us here for Sapivo?
Hi, everyone. I think Prof Ashenafi is actually the best one to answer this question because he does the selection of the RPLs for MPhil, but we do accept RPL applications, but obviously it is, you know, condition with regards to what the work experience is. Basically, if you don't have a NQF level 8 degree, that is an automatic entry into the MPhil, and you've been working in the development finance industry for a certain amount of years, which is listed on the website, then you can be eligible for RPL application. But the application process is quite vigorous, and we can only accept 10% of the total class number into the class itself. So if we've got a final class number of 100, we can only admit 10 of RPL applications. So it is a very competitive division. So and the Prof Ashenafi and the team is looking at those all at once. So all the applications are basically looked at once to give everybody a fair chance, no matter as to whether they apply early or right at the end of the application period. And also just note that the RPL applications do close at the end of September already, not the end of October like the rest of them, because it takes longer for us to go through the applications and make sure that all the documents are there, and then obviously for the selection panel to look at those, shortlist them, and then do the interviews with the shortlisted candidates. And only after that do I get a list of students that's eligible. And once I have that, as the class numbers grow, we can start admitting one by one. So the admission of those students is also very late in the process, as the numbers grow. So yeah, most of them will only hear right at the end whether they get admitted or not.
Okay, thank you for that, Marissa. And maybe I could just ask Cynthia quickly something. Cynthia, just in terms of support, somebody just wanting to know, what resources are there? I know we've got, these learning hubs and so forth, but just what extra mile, what is the extra that is on offer for somebody, for example, joining us from not South Africa and so on?
Okay, so if somebody is not prepared to come to campus, sorry, good evening, everybody. I'm the program coordinator for the MPhil Development Finance. So if somebody is not from South Africa and maybe don't want to travel, then the blended is an option. And these students can apply to have their classes online, but they must just bear in mind that in the second year, they must come to campus together with a modular group to attend electives. So it's only for that specific block that you will be coming to campus, the second block. But as program coordinators, we are here to assist you with whatever your problem might be. So once you are registered, so you've been accepted, you applied, you've been accepted, you get registered. From there on, the program coordinators take full responsibility of your time on campus, and we assist you wherever we can with whatever your need might be. We also send out your course material and whatever other information you need to have, and we link you to Learning Hub, and you will get all the necessary training and information as soon as you get registered.
Thank you for that, Cynthia. I think that's valuable information for our students. Mpilo has asked, I know there is funding available for the program. Does the business school undertake the application? Okay,
is that question to me?
No, it's a general question, but if you feel like you want to answer, then yeah.
So from our side, we don't really have bursaries available, but the students can apply. I'm not aware of any bursaries, but we also have Capitec Bank where the students can apply for a loan. Prof Ashenafi, I'm not certain whether we maybe do have some bursaries available this year. Are you aware of any bursaries for 2027?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, at the business school, we don't have bursary towards the MPhil program. But for students joining from South Africa, there are opportunities here and there. Particularly Bank Sita has been supporting our students in the past. I hope that support still, continues. So the South African applicants can consider contacting Bank Sita seeking support.
Okay, Marissa, just a quick one. Thanks for that, Prof. Kindly advise if applications close at the end of August or October, essay submission process, when are students normally notified if they were accepted or not?
Okay, so it depends on in what category you fall. So let's start with PhD because they close first. So the PhD applications closes at the 31st of August. So that's within a month's time. And so once all the applications has been finalized, we submit the list to the selection committee, after which they then go through the applications, they look at the pre-proposals, and they basically do a shortlisting. And the shortlist then, so there's a first, there's two levels basically. So after the first level, the shortlisting, the ones that did not make the shortlist will be notified. Then after the shortlist list basically then goes to the different supervisors for them to consider the students and the pre-proposals to see whether it aligns with their specific field of interest. And then the supervisors basically handpick the students for the PhDs. And only after that do we notify them. So ideally, we do try to notify the students that's successful for admission towards the mid of November, which gives them sufficient time to arrange for funding and registration. And registration for them only happens in the beginning of the year. So for the first group that falls out, we try to say about 6 weeks, but it all depends on the amount of applications we do receive. So every year we receive between 80 and 100 applicants to start with. So depending on the final list that makes the first cut, which is on the review side. So you must have a minimum of 70% for your thesis, master's thesis, and you must have a minimum of 65% overall average for your master's in order to make the first cut. That stops by us. And then you go to the selection committee for the shortlisting selection, and then the final with the supervisors. The RPLs, as I mentioned earlier, closes at the 30th of September. Again, it's handled in a batch. So we ideally would like to give students feedback within 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how quickly the committee can streamline and identify the students that they want to have interviews with, and after that we get the list. The normal applicants that apply with an NQF8 degree, they close at the end of October. So basically, once you've submitted, and this is for everybody, once you've submitted, you must pay your application fee. If the fee is not paid, we deemed it as an incomplete application, and then we don't look at it. Because of the volumes of applicants we do receive, we only focus on the ones that's actually submitted and paid the fee, because that is deemed a complete application. So once we receive the complete application with the payment, we look at it. We try to give feedback to students within a week's time. The busier time sometimes do take a bit longer, but we do try to give them feedback within a week after submitting. And then if there is any documents that is incomplete or not correct, we give that feedback as soon as possible so that the students can upload the correct documents. It is very important that they do look at the specifics on the website. So your highest degree certificate and your ID or passport must be certified, and it must not be older than 3 months at the day that you submit it. Please, otherwise we will not be able to use it. We will send it back, especially the MIE qualification verifications form. That is one of the compulsory documents. You will find it on the guideline documents that's on the application portal. So we provide you the form or the details that you don't have. We provide you the forms and the templates. Like for PhD, there's a template for the pre-proposal as well as the assignment. It's on the portal. Those links are also on the website. So please use the templates and the documents we provide you for specific documents that's compulsory for upload, and just follow the instructions very carefully to make sure that you do submit a complete application. Otherwise, there will be delays. Okay.
Thank you very much, Marissa.
You're welcome.
Prof and Cynthia and Mandy, I'll just quickly bring you into this one. I know that, Prof, you mentioned earlier in your presentation that the assignment, the research assignment, is about 60 credits, which is it's quite a big chunk. And LSC, we ask, would you recommend I take a research short course in preparation for the research element of the MPhil, and how are supervisors allocated? Is there perhaps a system that we have which prepares them for that research component?
Very good question. My answer would be absolutely yes. If you embark on a short course or any other research-oriented training as part of your preparation for the MPhil program, it will really help in terms of building your research skills. And once you have a very good skill in embarking on a research project, by the time you join the program, you can already have a title of your project, and you can easily move from a proposal to a final report. So as part of your preparation, if you do research-oriented training sessions, you can really benefit. The Stellenbosch University has what they call, this is doctoral academy. They have doctoral academy, and they offer research-oriented short courses. I don't know whether the courses are available online, but you can explore if they are available online. They will definitely help you in getting ready for the MPhil program. And in terms of assignment of supervisors, we have teams of researchers in our program, each of them focusing on a particular area of research. So we try to link students based on their interest and with the supervisor's area of interest. For instance, if someone wants to embark on a research project linked to infrastructure finance, would look at the professor that has been working in that particular area in allocating the students.
Thank you very much for that, Prof. Sebastian, I see you back again. I think we're going to give you one more shot. Sebastian, so just on the students section, and applying, and we started with the question, and I wanted to know from you, what mindset do you think students should have when they apply for these development finance programs?
Is that to me, Henry?
Yes, Sebastian.
Oh, yes. So sorry about the interruption in connectivity. So for the program to make sense, one has to have some sort of patriotism, Pan-Africanism, have the continent at heart. And then I also like to piggyback off what Prof said in terms of teamwork. There's a lot of teamwork that happens in the MPhil, so you need to be a team player. And other than that, you gotta have resilience, you gotta be flexible, because the program can demand quite a bit from you, especially those that are working full-time and studying part-time or studying in the program. You gotta be able to balance the two. And I think those are critical skills that one ought to have. Over to you, Henry.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Sebastian. If there are any other questions, I think this is a last round. Before we wrap up for the evening. Nothing in the chat. You can more than welcome to put your camera on, or if you don't want to, you can ask. Yeah.
Hi there. Can you guys hear me?
Hi, Devishini. How are you today?
Well, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well, Devishini. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to continue off the question I posed earlier. It was me that queried, the application process. Does the same apply to the MPhil application? I understand that there are 2 essays that need to be submitted, and when I went onto the portal, I didn't see a link to attach these. I just wanted to know, how do I formally submit those essays, unless I overlooked it?
I can answer that. If you say essay for the MPhil, are you mentioning for the RPL application?
I'm actually not sure. I came across a PDF that just explained the whole process, and they said we need to submit a motivational essay and sort of an analytical essay.
Okay, but what does the heading of that essay say? The template on the portal, because I know that the MPhil in leadership coaching has a standard motivational essay as part of the required documents, and that's the template you'll see on the portal. It says leadership coaching. If you go into your application for masters, you'll look at the document section. Only the documents that's listed, the pending documents. There's I think a marriage certificate or affidavit or something, your ID, the MIE form, and your CV. Those are the only 4 placeholders that's available for you to use. So that's all you submit. The only people that do submit a motivational essay for MPhil development finance is the ones that apply as an RPL candidate. But once they submit the application, I provide them with the instruction for the MPhil or for the essay, because there's a specific question they're going to have to elaborate on and talk to help them with the RPL selection process. But that's a little bit different. So if it's a straightforward application, you only upload the documents for the placeholders that's provided to you.
Thank you. That makes so much sense.
You're welcome. The postgrad do have a motivational essay on their application. So if you apply for the postgrad, there is a placeholder for a standard motivational essay, and that document will then also be available for them in the guideline documents.
Okay. So yeah, I have an intention of applying for the MPhil, and just to give you some background on my actual background, I have an engineering degree. I did a postgraduate diploma with Stellenbosch in sustainable development, and I recently completed an honors with engineering and technology management at UP. So I have completed finance related subjects and research modules in both of my postgrad and my undergrad, but not really in the finance field. And I'm hoping that, I can partake in this course. Is there anything further that I can do? Or just lay it out in my comprehensive CV?
Prof Ashenafi, what's your thoughts on this?
I think your, postgraduate qualifications are aligned with our expectation in the MPhil Development Finance Program. And if you have, I don't know, been a professional experience where you had the opportunity to work with financial institutions or development agencies, that will allow you to meaningfully contribute to the discourse we always have in the classroom. So, listening to you, I think you can apply.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Devashini. Thank you, Prof Fanta. And maybe another one, Prof, and maybe for the program coordinators as well. Lucia is asking, what would you recommend in terms of somebody that is working full-time, blended or modular?
For the MPhil.
Yes, Mandy.
Prof?
All right.
They are asking, can you kindly go through the blended versus modular presentation of the MPhil? So I think they're referring to slides that you already covered, but just in context of somebody that's working full time, which would you suggest that person undertake?
Yeah, by the way, when we designed the program, both blended and modular, it is, I mean, considering the reality of full-time working, individuals. In the modular program, we don't require students to be on campus the whole year. We structured our program such that you are on campus for only 2 weeks per block on the modular program. That requires students to, to utilize their study leave at work, or some of our students also utilize their annual leave from their place of work, so that they can, exclusively focus on their study for 2 week intensive program. And once, the on-campus sessions are over, they go back to their work, complete assignments and submit them online, and they come back after about 5 months to do the other 2 week intensive block. That is a modular. Then in the blended, we require students to attend evening sessions on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. This is almost all the way from February until maybe September or October. So that is the difference between the two programs. But both programs were designed by having full-time working students in mind.
Thank you very much, Prof. I just want to quickly and I think we as we are heading up to closing, Sebastian, you worked full time while you were doing this program. What are your thoughts, and from an experience side, and somebody that's gone through this journey?
Yes. Well, Henry, in my case, I had to, as I said earlier, flexibility is a critical feature in this particular program, especially for those that are working. I had to make arrangements with my employer at the time so that I can walk through my lunch and get sort of half the afternoon off, so that I can then quickly run home, log on, and attend my lectures. So that also requires some sort of negotiation and diplomacy, if I may add, between the student and the employer. So flexibility above anything else is what is required for the program, and obviously absolute dedication once you are in the program.
Absolute dedication. I think those are the perfect words to wrap up. But just the last one from Patience. I'm a mining engineer currently working in the mining industry, looking to branch into development finance. I'd like to apply for the MPhil. Would I have a chance? I think I'll take that. Patience. So, of course, and I know you're saying that you're a mining engineer, but we'll need to look at your qualifications, and just that background and so forth. But if you'd like to, you can speak. You can tell us a little bit about yourself, and then because it's quite a vague. You're working as a mining engineer, but we don't have the other critical details. If you're willing. Okay. Tell you what, Patience, what I'll do is I will put my details for you in the chat, and what you can do is you can just email me, and then we can have a consultation. If you're ready. But Marissa's raised her hand. Marissa, yes.
I can maybe just add to this. I know that I have received a lot of applications for MPhil students that has the required degrees, but not necessarily the work experience, or they've got the work experience, but the degrees is a little bit vague. So depending on which side that coin flips, when I do submit the application to Prof Ashenafi to review for selection consideration, many times when there's that discrepancy, when he can see a student might struggle with certain concepts on the development finance platform, and they've applied for the blended course, he does recommend that they maybe think of changing to the modular, because then you get your on-campus support, you get your opportunity to rub shoulders with your peers and people in the industry, and that can help significantly in the success of your program and at the end. But on the odd occasion, it does happen that he does suggest that students is not yet ready for the masters, but then they should consider changing to the postgraduate diploma to start building their foundation towards the masters. But in any case, I do communicate that to the students, and we run them through the process and support them through the process.
Thank you very much, Marissa, for that. Yeah, I think that's quite important to say that if you don't fit in here, we will mold you, into getting there. Sikupelo, I hope I got that right. Apologies if I don't. Your question, I see you've got your hand raised.
Yes, thank you, Henry. I just wanted to find out for example, I have been working for the Development Bank of Southern Africa, DBSA, but currently now I'm working for Treasury. I just wanted to find out, I'm currently completing my PhD in construction management, and I have a master's degree in land and property development. And then I've got a postgraduate diploma in risk management, and I've got a postgraduate diploma in project management. Now, would Prof or the program coordinators advise me to register for the MPhil or the PGDIP? Thank you. Thank you, Andre.
I think you should. I think with all those qualifications, Prof, I think I know what you're gonna suggest, but yeah, I'll leave this with Prof.
Yeah, a quick question back to you, just to be sure. Did you say you have completed your PhD or busy with it currently?
I'm almost done, Prof. I'm almost done. I'm expecting my outcome of my PhD now.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yes.
That's good, because if your PhD is an ongoing project, it might pose a challenge for you, even if we give you the opportunity to join the program. But with your postgraduate background and the fact that you worked for DBSA, which is a development finance institution, and even moving to National Treasury or Ministry of Finance that you mentioned, which still fall within the pure view of the field of development finance, I think you'll be comfortably placed to access the program. But I need to rigorously evaluate your professional background and also academic background to determine your suitability. But given the information you have provided, I think you are eligible to apply. Particularly your work experience with DBSA is very, very important.
I agree. I think it'd be a great contribution to if you should join us. Sibusiso, and that's gonna be the last one for now. Yeah, Mandy's just asked that we can't allow concurrent registration, so you can't be. I believe you can't be. Mandy, maybe you can just put into perspective. You can't be registered at two different institutions, right?
Yeah, in the same year. So if you want to apply for our postgraduate diploma, I'll advise you complete your undergrad, because that is admission requirements for the PGDIP. But if you plan to do it simultaneously, unfortunately, like I said, we unfortunately do not allow concurrent registration. You can only be registered with us after completing the undergrad, but not both, unfortunately. Thank
Okay,
you,
Mandy, thank you for clearing that up. And I think that is a wrap for tonight, everybody. The recording we'll make available as soon as it's uploaded somewhere into the sky. And yeah, the slides we can definitely share with all of you. I'd like to thank everybody, all of you, once again, for joining us. I see that superior no GMAT is required for this program. I see we've got, you know, all of you joining us from all over, some from Worcester, Kuils River. There was somebody saying they're from Johannesburg, Windhoek, Namibia. And once again, guys, thanks very much for the session and joining us. And I'd like to please, also on my behalf, the team. I'll start from left to right. Mandy, thank you very much.
Thank
Marissa,
you.
thank you very much. Prof Fanta, thanks very much for giving of your time. Cynthia, and of course, Edwina Sonnenberg, that's also joining us, as well as Zainab, the GTA, that's just busy on the technical side of things. And from myself, Henry Boyson, you know, it's a pleasure having you guys all here. It's we, as Marissa mentioned, you know, RPL closes the 30th of September. For those of you that want to do the PhD, that is at the end of
August.
At the end of August. And once again, I'd also like to, and for the normal students, it's the end of October, and so on. And Sebastian, thanks very much. I know that you're busy doing your foreign policy things. Sebastian, I believe you wanted to say one last thing before we go.
Yes, Henry, with your permission and the rest of the team, if I may, I just wanted to, and this is perhaps for those working in the policy space in government, those that might find themselves working in economic development, or in my case, diplomacy at that. Basically, just the linkage between development finance and economic development. And I'm looking at it, Henry, through the prism of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, AFCFTA, which in my case is a monumental diplomatic achievement, but its success will then rely entirely on infrastructure, logistics, and value chain development, among other things. And Henry, for its implementation, diplomacy aligns the political will, harmonizes the regulations, gets governments together, presidents and foreign ministers and trade ministers together to sign those cross-border protocols. Development finance then steps in to fund the actual transit corridors, the dry ports, and whatever infrastructure is needed for economic development. And together we have turned the legal and diplomatic text and jargon into a living, breathing economic engine. And this is where development finance comes and meets, it sort of kisses economic development, leading to, of course, sustained economic development. And in the great beyond, and I think Prof will agree with me, as well as Prof Nanziri, that in my space as a foreign relations officer or foreign policy specialist, bridging the gap between high-level diplomatic negotiation and the concrete mechanics of development finance is basically where the real continental transformation happens. And this is made possible, of course, when you bring together things like development finance, economic development, diplomacy, etc., etc. That's what I wanted to share, those last points, Henry, particularly for those working in the development space, in government, and as well as diplomacy, like myself. Thank you.
Thanks, Sebastian. You are true ambassador for development finance. And once again, if you, for those of you, you want to reach out and have a little bit more conversations with Sebastian, you can just reach out to him on LinkedIn. He is also part of the alumni network in Windhoek as well, and in Namibia. Yeah, so Sebastian, thanks for the great work that you do on that side. Once again, from all of us at the business school, I think I've already said goodbye to everybody, and to all of you. Thank you very much, Prof Fanta, Cynthia, Edwina, Mandy, Marissa, Sebastian, and myself, Henry. Thank you very much, guys. And we hope to review your applications.
Thank you all.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a
Good night,
wonderful evening.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good night,
Thank you.
everybody. Thank you
Bye.
so much. It's been
Bye.
great.